Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you my natural chocolate shampoo bar. I'll get into the details of why cocoa is so good for your hair a little bit later, but for now this is what you're going to need for the soap. So I've got some olive oil, some shea butter, some coconut milk, some castor oil, and some avocado oil. All the measurements will be listed in the description box below. I've also got some lye. So lye is basically caustic soda. That's what reacts with the oil to create soap. You need to be very careful with this because it can't burn you. So that's why I've got gloves on and everything. Generally, I'm not too cautious, but when you're making soap, you have to be. Anyways, I'm going to combine all my oils and my butters together. As you can see, this contains shea butter. It's super moisturizing, especially if you have dry brittle hair like me. It really helps to you can clean your hair without having that stripped feel, and I definitely do prefer this soap over my African black soap shampoo, so it might be a similar experience for you. Anyways, so here I'm just measuring out my caustic soda / lye, and then I've already measured out my water, so I'm adding the caustic soda to that. You always have to make sure you add the lye to the water, not the water to the lye, because then it can bubble up and it can go everywhere. You want to try and do this in an open space as well, because this has a very strong smell and you do not want to inhale the fumes of it. So if you do it outside, then it's much easier. I had my window open, so it was fine. So basically, I measured the lye into that, and then I'm going to stir it. Once you stir it, the fumes will become more and more potent, and the water will start getting quite warm as well. You want to stir it as quickly as possible, because you don't want the lye to settle at the bottom, because that's just it takes forever for it to dissolve if that's the case. So now I'm just going to let the lye sit and allow it to dissolve. Whilst that's going, I'm going to dissolve my oil slightly. It is winter here in Australia, so I had to dissolve the oil a little bit before adding it to my lye solution. If it were summer, I wouldn't really bother about that because it's warm anyway. So whilst I wait, I'm going to measure out my vanilla essential oil. This soap smells divine. It's chocolate and vanilla, so you can't really go wrong with it. I do sell this on my website as well for anyone who's interested. So I'm adding my oils to my lye solution, and I'm just going to stir it with my spatula. You can start stick blending if you want, but I like to slow the tracing process, so I just like to stir with my hand for a bit before I introduce the stick blender. This way it doesn't get too thick quickly, and it's easy for me to pour it into my molds, and it allows it to shape the way I want it to shape. So as you can see, the oils and the butters are dissolving even more now that I've added it to the lye solution, because the lye solution is warm. Again, make sure you've got gloves on because this can burn, because it hasn't reached trace yet. So reaching trace means the oil and the lye and water has completely combined into soap, basically. And the way you're able to tell is there's no separation between the oil and the lye, so there will be no oil on the surface of the soap you're making. I hope that makes sense. So I've introduced a stick blender, and I'm just doing it in little bursts. I'm not going crazy. So as you can see, it's starting to thicken up a little bit, but still very watery, which means by the time I add my fragrance and stuff, it'll still be quite liquidy, and it'll be easier for me to pour it into my molds. Bear in mind that the fragrance also lets it trace quickly as well, so that's another reason not to stir it too much before adding the fragrance to it. So as you can see, it's starting to thicken up even more. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my fragrance, and then I'm going to mix that in very thoroughly. So the reason why I chose cocoa powder is cocoa powder contains a lot of magnesium, so it really helps to prevent hair loss. It helps to promote hair growth, and it makes your hair look super healthy and really shiny. Obviously it's got shea butter, it's got coconut oil, it's got castor oil. All these oils are super moisturizing and really helps to retain length and grow your hair. So that's why I've included all those into my shampoo bar. And obviously the only chemical in here is lye. Everything else is all natural, organic. So now I've added my cocoa powder. I'm going to give it a really good stir and make sure it's all perfect. My molds I bought from AliExpress, if anybody is wondering, so it's probably a good place to look. If you don't have molds, I mean, they're in wooden boxes, which you can, if you have any old wooden box, you can still use it. You can just line it with some baking paper, freezer paper, I think, and then I personally haven't tried this, but I've seen people try and it seems to work fine. So you can try that and see how that goes. Or you can even use like an old plastic bowl or something that you can remove the soap from once it's completely molded. So yeah, now I'm just pouring my soap into my molds. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, guys. Show some love, show some support. I'm sure you guys are really enjoying these recipes and really find them helpful, so make sure you subscribe. So I'm just going to allow them to cure. I left this for 4 days before I took it out. It is winter, so it does take a little bit longer for it to mold properly. If it was summer, I could probably take it out in a day or two, but because it's winter, it's a little bit tricky. So once the soap, I've been able to take it out of the mold and cut it, I can basically use it straight away, but it's advisable to leave it a little bit longer. I'd say up to 6 weeks, because then it hardens and it lasts longer, and at the same time, if it hasn't reached trace completely, then it can continue to work its magic. So here I've just cut a square. I for some reason I deleted the footage of me cutting it. That's like my favorite part of making soaps, so I'm pretty bummed out about that. But that's what my soap looked like, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, make sure you leave a comment below letting me know what else you would like to see, and just let me know if you found it helpful as well. Don't forget to follow me on LusciousSkin&Hair for updates about what I'm doing. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.